Hi, friends, and welcome to Season 3 of the School Librarian Learning Network podcast. I'm Steve Tatro, often known as Dr. T Loves Books, and I love talking about all things related to school libraries. I'm an old dog who's always trying to learn new tricks. That's why in each episode of the SLLN podcast, I'll chat with a school librarian about a lesson, program, or activity they love. Hopefully, this can be a place for school librarians to get ideas and find new ways to engage with their students and staff. Speaking of which, I'd love to hear about what you and your friends are doing in your school library. Email me at drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. That's drtlovesbooks@gmail.com to tell me about what you're doing, offer feedback about the SLLN podcast, or to request a podcast sticker. As Amy Herman likes to say, being a guest on a podcast is a great way to show your admins you are engaged in meaningful professional development and leadership in the profession. So drop me a line and let's chat. That being said, the opinions and ideas shared in this podcast by myself and my guests are our own and do not reflect those of our school districts. I just like to geek out about school libraries. So without further ado, let's get to this week's episode. Hey everybody, we are back and I have once again got another returning guest. I'm very excited about this. And it's funny, I was thinking like, I always have my friends on the podcast. And it's because I talk to these people and they have such awesome ideas and I want to stay in touch and we become friends. And I'm so glad that Amanda McCoy is my friend, but I've kind of given away the surprise. Amanda, welcome back. So glad to have you back.
Thank you so much. Steve, I am so glad that we are friends too. I mean, we share so many things and then you just become friends that way. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's such a great community and you have been such a great, person to just, you're always sharing ideas and information and resources, and I love it. So thank you so much for that, for being part of the community and just being yourself, because it's wonderful.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the best parts of being a librarian is sharing, not just the things that I do, but something that I heard that somebody else does that I think another friend could use, just sharing. All of our kids deserve the very best.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I've said this before, and I will say it again now, that even if you and I taught the exact same lesson, we're going to do it in different ways. Like there's going to be our own twists on it. So like, even if we both talked about the same lesson, there's different things that are going to come through with it. So, when we do share those lessons and we do kind of borrow from other people, we also put our own spin on it. So that's hopefully something people are doing with this podcast is they're getting these ideas and putting their own spin on things and trying it out. And I'm hoping at some point, I haven't yet, but I'm hoping at some point I'm going to hear from some listeners who are going to be like, oh my gosh, I tried this. Can I come talk about how it went? And I'll be like, yes, let's do that. So we'll see. Maybe you are going to be the golden ticket that's going to get that listener to go, yes, we need to do this. So
oh, that'd be awesome. I hope so.
Yes, absolutely. Now, just in case people haven't caught up with your previous episodes, why don't you take a second, tell folks where you're at and what you do?
Sure. I am a kindergarten through fifth grade librarian in Lawrence, Kansas. I am on Blue Sky, I'm on YouTube, and I put a lot of the resources that I share on a website called Ahoy Mrs. McCoy.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And we're here to talk about your bookmark contest. Now, you've posted about this a couple of times, and the one that you posted just a couple of months ago kind of blew my mind a little bit. But before we get to the end result, let's backtrack a little bit and let's just start at the beginning. Like, where did you come up with the idea for doing a bookmark contest in the first place?
Oh, I'm certain I saw another librarian do it somewhere, have a student-made bookmark. They did color ones, but we have a lot of kids that really like to color their own bookmarks. They love having just black and white bookmarks out to color. So I took that and had our students then create black and white bookmarks, and we put them in a contest, and it kind of just keeps growing every year. It's a really fun thing to see.
And how long have you been doing this? Do you know, like ballpark?
I think this is my 5th year. I'm now at my 2nd school doing it.
Okay. Because I happened to be looking through your Blue Sky feed to find the one that you had posted recently. And I saw one from 2024, which was up here, and it's rolling out the bookmark contest again. So like clearly this is something you've been doing for a bit, which I love. That's great. When we find those things that work, keep using them.
Absolutely. Well, it's a very high student engagement piece. It gives them a lot of ownership too. Like when they have something that they have created that sits and is an important part of our library, I absolutely love those types of projects. So this is one that I have kept building on year after year.
Love it. So how's it sort of organized? Like, how does it work? Just say, draw a bookmark and kids start throwing things at you, or like?
I mean, that was probably the first year, yeah, and it was a little messy and fly by the seat of our pants, but I've gotten to the point now where I know the questions that are going to come, for the most part at least, so I make a lot of videos already to either teach procedures in our library or introduce things, announce things, and this is one of the things that I for sure make a video so that I know that the message that the kids are getting is very consistent. Everybody's getting the same information. I know the things, like I said, that are going to be asked. So I address all those questions in a video rolling out our contest. We have a specific form that everybody uses. I tell them where to find it in the library. I talk a lot, now that I've done this several years, about how if you just use a pencil, it's not going to show up very well when we scan the bookmarks. So you can start with pencil, but you have to go over it with something dark, with a black marker of some kind. And I provide those so that the kids can do that too. And we've had so many entries that I've had to cut down the entries to just one per kid, because we do have a voting component too.
Okay. All right. That's awesome that they are so into it that they are throwing out, like, they're almost gaming the system with their multiple entries.
Yes.
So I'm going to sidetrack for 1 second, because when you're talking about they're doing them in pencil and they have to ink them, I'm imagining doing this with older students and talking about the connection between graphic novels and how they usually will pencil in their designs and then they have to go back and ink it. And there's actually people who like get paid to do the inking, to make sure the inking is done the way it's supposed to be done. So that would be kind of a fun little tie-in for the older kids. But
yes, that's really fun. And you can also talk about how for the older kids that not all of the character is seen in the frame, perhaps. And it's really cool if like they're peeking and you don't like just have the character centered in the middle of the bookmark sometimes.
Love that. So there's all sorts of different art elements we can bring into this, and like composition. And what grade levels are you doing this with?
I do this with first grade through fifth grade. I did try in kindergarten for a while, but we roll it out very early in the year. And at that point in the year, we are very much still learning how to library in kindergarten. So we just get really excited about doing it next year. And usually there's a brother or sister or two that are winners in the bookmark contest. So the kid in the younger grade can say, hey, this is my brother's bookmark, and show the whole class, and he's very proud. So they get excited about it that year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's awesome when we get the sibling rivalry going to kind of play that up a bit.
You bet.
So there's a form that they fill out. Is that like I'm imagining that it's sort of it's got the dimensions of the bookmark that they're using?
Yes, I have a very thickly lined rectangle that's in the size and the shape that I know that I need to like copy and make the bookmarks, so that everybody's standard across all grade levels, across all kids. They have this box in which to put their bookmark design.
Love it. And how did you end up? You said it's because that's the way you can print. Like, how do you end up printing these when you scan and print them?
So I scan them and then send them over to our print shop, which I'm very fortunate to have, and they print them on cardstock and cut them out for us and send them back, and we're ready to go.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the final dimension on those?
That is such a good question. And I do not know that off the top of my head. I would say they're maybe like 2.5 inches wide, maybe like 7 inches tall.
Okay.
It's a rough guess.
Yeah, no. That's great. I was just kind of curious to, trying to imagine how this like fits on a piece of paper and what it's going to look like for the student, trying to just get that mental image going there. So that makes a lot of sense, because that's going to be within your 8.5 by 11. But also gives them, that's a pretty good canvas, 2 by 7. That gives them a fair amount of space.
Yeah. And we actually go down to half sheets for the entry form, just so we can have more of those and the kids don't have such a big paper to keep track of.
Good thinking. I love it. And well, so the form itself probably has more than just the bookmark on it.
It does. It has some of the details, things like use your black marker. It has the date that all entries are due and where to put those bookmarks.
Gotcha. And do they put their name on the bookmark, or is the name on do they actually like sign their work in the bookmark itself?
A couple kids do. And once in a while that bookmark will win. So they have their name in all these other kids' books, which if their classmates are really into, like, okay, go for it. That's great. But no, there is a separate box for them to put their name and their grade level.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just kind of curious because, I mean, A, do you have those kids that are doing that? B, is that something you encourage? And C, the other component of this that was the thing that really kind of knocked my socks off is that you have now expanded this beyond just your school with your process. But again, I think I'm jumping a little bit ahead. So before we get there, so the kids do their entries. How long do they generally get to work on their bookmarks?
I only keep it open for about 2 weeks, so I make sure that I see every class twice. I'm amazed at the amount of kids that really want to get theirs completed during one of our library classes, like during the checkout portion at the end. I don't have a lot of kids take it home and bring it back. I do definitely have a handful that spend a great deal of time on it, but a lot of kids like have their idea immediately and they want to get it on paper. Okay, here, Mrs. McCoy, you got it. This is it.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Love the
get it done.
confidence.
Yeah. Check it off. I love it. So, okay. So they've got about 2 weeks. They usually get them done right away. They turn in a whole bunch of bookmarks. You end up with a bunch of forms. What do you do once you've got all that paperwork in front of you?
So I've worked out how to kind of work this with our printer scanner thing that it will feed, and I can scan a bunch of them at once. Before I do that, however, I do make sure I sort them into grade level piles because that's how they're going to vote. So I want to group the bookmarks by grade level first.
Okay.
And then I scan them in and then get those into some format that I can load them into a Google form. So either a PNG or a JPEG, I kind of forget. But I load each grade level into their own Google form so that the voting is nice and easy. The kids then, whenever Mrs. McCoy gets those things done, because that is easily the most gargantuan part of this entire process is getting everything scanned and into a Google form. But in another library class, I'll make sure that we have our iPads that day. I throw up a QR code so we can vote for as many bookmarks as we want to. Instead of having kids saying, hey, vote for mine, don't vote for this other person because you can only choose 2. No, you know what? You can vote for as many as you want to as long as you don't choose every single one. And we do go over how that does not help us pick a winner if we vote for every single one.
It almost seems like there's an opportunity here, and I don't know that this would be at the 1-5 level, but like maybe at the middle school, the high school level, we start talking about ranked choice voting or like, different voting processes that we could use. But I love this, that they are just voting for everything that's grabbing their attention, like everything that's really speaking to them. And it's hopefully not turning into a popularity contest, which we want to avoid that at all costs. So that's great.
Yes. That is another change that I've made over the years.
Yeah. Oh, totally makes sense. Makes sense. So they vote, they've come to class, they've done their voting. Is it strictly like a total votes, highest vote wins, or?
So I definitely pick a few winners per grade level, and anyone who's done any kind of voting, there's usually kind of a break. Like maybe I have 3 that are heads above like the rest of the group. In another grade level, I might have 4. It's usually around 3, 4, 5 if I have a tie or just like a group of 5 that's really strong.
Right.
I leave that up to myself every year to kind of like move things around and do what is the best for our students at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we have to move things a little bit. That's what happens. So that's okay.
Yeah.
So then there's multiple winners at each grade level.
Yes. Well, there's lots and lots of winners. Yes.
So that's awesome. So then you scan them all. Do you send them all to be printed, or is it purely the ones that are getting the highest votes that are like your top winners that are getting printed?
It's the winners. That is their prize, is that their bookmark gets printed for the entire school, and then they get a stack of 10 to take home with them and distribute as they wish.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's got to be a fun. I mean, I know everybody's getting those in their stocking at the holidays or, Christmas birthday gifts galore there. That's the best. So I love this. And I imagine the kids get very excited about not just seeing their work, but seeing their friends' work. Like this sounds like it's something that the students really get, I don't want to say wild about, but they really get into.
They are very, very excited about it. And as soon as the bookmark contest is over, it's Mrs. McCoy, when is the next bookmark contest? Well, it's next year. Don't worry, you'll be here. Like you can start thinking of your ideas now. It'll be great. But yeah, they're
So
very, very excited.
strictly one a year, though. There's enough work with one of them to...
It is enough work, and we have enough other projects going on that we keep it to once a year. Also, that gives us enough bookmarks and enough bookmark designs to keep rotating what's available during checkout throughout the year.
Gotcha. So do you just carry them over to the following... I'm trying to think. You did this 3 months ago, so that would have been like February, like kind of mid-year-ish?
So I actually did it in October. I just
okay.
didn't do the piece that you're referring to until the spring.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, okay. So that totally makes sense. So then, yeah, so you're able to kind of spread them out throughout the year. Okay. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this now. Okay. So big event, students are excited, and then you went and took it to the next level. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I had made contact when I got the job at this school. It's in a new town to me, so I had made contact with our local public library and our local bookstore. We have a great independent local bookstore here in town. And I mean, I'd done the introductions, and I know some people over there now, but I didn't really know how can we actually connect? Until I was mentioning this contest when I was talking to my good friend who works there just like one afternoon a week. And she said, it would be amazing if your students' work was in the bookstore. They would love that kind of thing. And so I said, okay, we can print those and I'll bring them over. So there was a day we didn't have school. So I got to go over at a time when I knew the manager was going to be there and handed them over. And they put them out, and I took a picture that I got to show the kids. And then I got a message later that day of, oh my gosh, our customers are loving these. They're flying off the shelves. Can you please bring some more? They're so excited to have a student created bookmark to go with their brand new book at the bookstore.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Those kids must have been over the moon. Boy.
Oh, they were thrilled. Like, wait, the bookstore that's downtown my bookmark was there. Like, just so thrilled. It was great to see.
That's awesome. Wow. It's funny. I mean, as soon as I saw the picture, I was like, of course we should be doing this kind of thing. Just never occurred to me until I saw you do it. And it's like, oh, yeah. Now I'm thinking like, yeah, we don't really have a bookstore in my town, but the library is right down the street. Like, maybe I go talk to the public library, Hey, maybe we have some bookmarks out. So many possibilities. Now, what a great way to kind of bring the school library brand out into the community a little bit and say like, this is part of what we do in our library. Besides just sharing books, we also get kids excited and creating, and here's their work. Here's them moving out into the world and showing what they can do.
Yeah, I love how much this project allows some of our kids that might not shine in other areas to really take the reins and show what they can do and get to showcase their talents in this way.
Absolutely. Man, this is such a great project that you're doing with the kids. I'm jealous that they get to have this experience and I never did. So, but this is so cool. And there's so many different ways you can spin this and permutations, and it works across grade levels. Like, this is so great. Oh boy. My brain is just going in a million directions as I'm trying to think about all the possibilities here, because you could do so much and go so many places with this.
I've thought about having a theme. For some years, if we want to go with like the school mascot, or if unfortunately this is past us, but we have the FIFA World Cup coming to Kansas City, which is not terribly far from us. There could be some kind of theme if there's an event that's going on.
Absolutely. Man. And I'm going to go in not a very different direction. I'm going to go in a little bit of a sideways direction with this, because I'm taking something that I heard and connecting it together with your idea. A while ago, I had heard somebody talk about in their library, they do a photo booth, and they run the photo booth on like nights that they're having events at the school. The librarian will come in, they'll set up the photo booth, and they'll do it as a fundraiser. And they'll be like, oh, for $3, we'll take your picture, and then you'll get a print, and we'll keep the money to put into the library. And now I'm thinking like, how cool would it be to have the kids design, have a contest, get a bunch of the bookmarks, and then like $1 a piece or whatever, I bet parents would want them, siblings are going to want them, and like a way to sort of maybe help the library as well as helping the students, man, I have to think about whether that's, possibilities.
Yeah.
And I mean, usually I'll kind of ask about differentiation, but like, this is, you design the bookmark you want to design. So like, there's not really a need for differentiating. I love that. And I mean, this works with all your populations. Doesn't matter if your students are ELL, doesn't matter if they're SPED, doesn't matter what level they're working at. This is just like, hey, whatever you want to design. Boy, trying to think about all the ways that we could add this in across different subject areas. Okay, no, I got to stop. I got to stop thinking, and I just need to move forward with the students clearly love this, that they're asking about it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, and the bookstore clearly loved it. The customers clearly loved it, which is awesome. Like, that's got to be the best feeling, to know that there's people in the community that are seeing this.
Big time. It's so great to know that they not only like recognize our kids' work, but also see like, oh, right, the schools in this town, they exist. They're doing something. This is a thing. They're engaging kids in reading. I want that message to be out in the community, and for us to like all support our kids becoming great readers.
And that's something too I hadn't really thought of, but like the fact that these are out in the community, they're in a bookstore, so like you're kind of, you have a particular population that's going to be going there, but it's not necessarily the same population of, it's not necessarily going to be the parents of those students. It's going to be people from across the community that might be visiting there. So that really is a great chance to maybe spread the word about public education, school libraries, like really getting that out there to folks who might not otherwise feel like they have a stake in it. So that's great.
Sure, they might not have any other interaction with the public schools in town, and I would love for them to have this positive association with us. That'd be great.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm curious if you've heard anything from either teachers or administrators or anything about this contest over the years. Doesn't necessarily have to be from this year.
Yes, I have. It's great to hear some of the anecdotal stories that of things that happen that are not in the library, but of like, hey, this kid came back to class after hearing that they were a winner in the bookmark contest, and I can't tell you, Amanda, we're just over the moon, and it kind of showing emotion in a way that I haven't seen them do before. And we're finally excited about something that's at school, excited about something that was in the library. And I just want to make sure that you know that this kid really, really, really lit up. It's fun to see some of the kids that will spend a little bit more time on the project also. The way that they'll kind of poll their classmates sometimes to see what's popular. Like a few years back, we had a lot of Among Us designs. And then those have kind of, they weren't as popular this year, and we had some K-pop demon hunters, kids that kind of try to get the temperature of the room as they're designing these different things. It's very entertaining at times to watch them feel out their classmates for what's going to be a winning design.
Love that. Future ad execs in your library.
Exactly.
So great, man. So, I mean, clearly this is something you've been doing it for years. The kids get excited about it. People are going to want to do this. And I think the bookmark contest part of it is relatively straightforward, but do you have any suggestions or advice for folks if they are trying this out for the first time?
I would make sure to have all your materials lined up and ready to go the second that you introduce it, because kids get so excited they want to design the bookmark immediately. There was a year or two where I didn't have my ducks in a row and ran out of black pens and didn't have any like markers or pens of any shape, size, or quantity, and had to, beg, borrow, and steal from some other teachers. I did not anticipate the number of students that would be participating in this. It's a wildly large percentage of each class that submits designs and is very, very invested in it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to not just to the contest, but I think it speaks to the spirit of openness that you promote with these students, that they feel like, yes, this is something that I can and should partake in, and that they get excited about it. Like, clearly they are reacting to your energy and the space that you have created for them. So kudos to you that they are showing this kind of enthusiasm.
Okay, thanks. That's always our hope. Always our hope.
100%. So if you had kind of, it sounds like the connection to the bookstore was sort of almost like an accidental
yes,
happenstance, which is awesome. Like,
happy accident.
Yes, 100%. Having done it now, do you have any thoughts about anything you might do, like expanding, doing differently, like anything for next year that you're already starting to ponder?
The kids are really excited to know that their bookmarks are in a place that they know. So I'm listening and trying to think about some other businesses that we could get it in. they get really excited about the public library. We just had them in this week for the summer reading introduction. So getting them at the public library too, I think would be wonderful. But I'm trying to think of other places that would be meaningful for the kids to have their work displayed and available.
Yeah. It's as soon as you said the places that the kids are going to find meaningful, I was like, pizza place. But then I was like, do you really want pizza? Do you really want bookmarks in your pizza? I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's a good point though. Like have to see what else we can brainstorm there. But I love that. And I mean, that they're out in the world at all is awesome. Like, so I no shade, no pressure. I just was curious if you had already started to, because I know that you're always thinking about how do we go a little further next time around, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is great. I love it. Simple and to the point, and yet you've elevated it in such an awesome way. Thank you for coming and sharing that. I think we're at the point where we're going to take our 90-degree turn and go into our book break.
Hey!
So, what do you want to bring? What have you got on your reading radar that you want to get on other people's screens?
So, I'm going to do one that has been wildly popular in our library first. It's called Cute Animals That Could Kill You Dead, a funny picture book of adorable attacker animals. It's fantastic. It is a nonfiction book. It was pointed out to me by Christopher Hunt on Blue Sky. He mentioned that it was popular in his library, and I have not been able to keep it on our shelves. I just saw that there's a sequel coming out. I can't wait. I have some kids who didn't get to read it this year. The whole list was so long. But it is by Brooke Hartman and illustrated by Maria Garcia. And it is just phenomenal. The first time that you meet the animal, it is a drawing. They're all illustrations, but it's very cutesy and the eyes are very innocent and wonderful. And then you turn the page and it looks like it's killer self, like it's killer eyes, and it's doing whatever it does in the world that kills things. But it is so wonderful. The kids love it. Cannot get enough of it. I had to break up a third grade girl fight about it. Not like intense, but they were very heatedly arguing over it.
Man, I'm going to hit my local library for that because that sounds awesome.
It's super cute. And then in the summer, I really like to read, my jam personally is female memoirs where place is big enough to be a character. And I really, a couple summers ago, loved this memoir called Rust, a memoir of steel and grit, about this woman who went and worked in the steel industry in Ohio. And she talks about being a woman in this very male-dominated space. And I just found it like engrossing. I absolutely adored it. It's so good.
I feel like I may have seen that. No, I think I'm confusing it with like, there's been, it seems like a little bit of a trend the past several years of like that one word title that's a memoir that is from it's kind of maybe a bit of a left field female perspective. And that one is blending together with a couple of the other ones in my head because I do not think this is the one I'm thinking of, but that sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, it's great.
Definitely going to have to, I love, now I got new books to put on my book list. Always got to have more books for the book list. That's great.
More on the TBR, you know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, my TBR is so out of control. It's ridiculous, but yeah, it's okay. That's okay because you always have plenty to read. So that's a good thing. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you coming and sharing. I mean, you've been here already several times and you always bring awesome stuff and you have come back to share more. I know folks are going to want to make sure that they are following you online because if they're not, they are missing out. So you said before, I think Blue Sky was kind of your main landing page?
Yes, Blue Sky is my main social media. I am at Eliese McCoy, ILLINI MCCOY. I'm a proud graduate of the University of Illinois, even though I now live in Kansas. And then I am also on YouTube, Ahoy Mrs. McCoy. I have those videos that teach library procedures and do our announcements. And then I maintain a website, like when I will share a document or slides or something of that nature on Blue Sky, we'll house that on ahoymrsmccoy.com.
Awesome. And I meant to mention this earlier, but when you were talking about how you do your video with the instructions for the contest, what a great idea, especially for your littles, so that they can go back and listen as many times as they need to. Like they can pause, they can kind of make sure that they're getting what they need. And it takes that pressure off of you to have to make sure, like you said, you're maintaining that consistency with every viewing. So I love it. I got to think about.
Yeah, it's also a good way for parents to find out about it too, because they can't physically be in our library classes every week, but they can take this little piece and watch it at home.
Yeah. Man, so many good things. Folks, if you're not following Amanda, follow her, because clearly she knows what she's talking about. This is good stuff. Well, thank you again. I truly appreciate you taking the time. And it is, as always, a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, it's awesome to be here, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the SLLN podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes for the episode. They feature links to resources shared by our guest, as well as ways to keep in touch with them, and links to the book break titles. I'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, a comment, an idea, a question, or something you want to share, you can email drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. That's drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. Know a librarian with something we could learn from? Let us know. Until next time, be good, be safe, and be well.